Moses grew up during a time when civil rights was active, and he was one of those people that was speaking up for the community and was protesting. So what he had done in terms of civil rights early on and taking that risk when there was protests going on and sit-ins going on, these are things that took a lot of courage on the part of young people.
Moses was a teacher at Howard High School when I was a student, and there was something about Moses we all liked. There was just something about him. In fact, we had a nickname for him that we would call him behind his back, and that nickname was Cool Mr. Freeman. And I asked Moses years later, what was it about him? I told him about the nickname. He said he knew the students called him that, and he said it's because I had style.
I grew up in Marion County, which is a world away from Chattanooga, and I had never had a true friend that was a product of the civil rights struggle. He consistently demonstrated his love for the community, his dedication to public service in one form or another, and honestly, he inspired me to consider a career in public service.
We coined a phrase for him, calling Moses the University of Freeman, because he would tell you in a heartbeat, I know something about this and I know something about that.
He was being groomed for a higher position. He got a promotion outside of teaching school, and he was told that he would have that position, but Moses kept saying, well, we need to address this issue and address that issue, and Moses was told, I remember him telling me this, well, we can't take care of everybody, we're taking care of you. And Moses said, no, we got to take care of people that need to be taken care of. Moses' problem was he just wouldn't shut up. So he left town, did well in Jacksonville, Florida, as the director of a community-wide program.
Moses, he was an authority on justice, okay? So that's the way I think about Moses. He had spent a lifetime not just fighting, but working for the next step in equality and fairness for a lot of different kinds of people. And when any issue came up on the city council that had anything to do, that dealt with how to treat people, whether they be employees or citizens or neighbors, other members of the council looked to him. If Moses Freeman said that something wasn't fair or wasn't right, you'd better listen to him. And as I said, he came out on the right side of history so many times, over and over and over.
Freeman spoke up. He said, well, I am the smartest person in the room. And he wasn't kidding. He was serious. And I thought, this is a bold fellow here. And when we came out, I said, Moses, you're talking to people trying to communicate. He said, well, they need to know how smart I am. So from that point, I said, this guy's got a lot of confidence. He said, well, Partridge, I've done community development, and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. That's what he called me, Partridge. So I took away from that you have to be confident in your discussions with people.
If he saw something that you were doing for the community, he wanted you to know that he appreciated it. And coming from him, that meant the world to me. And he just treated people with respect, disagree or agree over the long term. And I wish everybody on earth would treat everybody else the way Moses treated me for 30 years.
I mean, he actually on paper, he was supposed to report to me, but he knew and I knew that he really didn't report to me. In fact, I guess I kind of reported to him. But I learned a little more about political activity and political intrigue and political approaches through Moses and governmental work.
Moses eventually became a quite active politician, running several campaigns and advising people. But the thing that I admired most about him, in politics, there's oftentimes this punishment reward that goes on. If you're with me, you get rewarded, and if you're not, you get punished. Moses was unique. If you didn't go with his candidate, you were still okay with him. And if you went with his candidate, he appreciated it, and he'd give you work to do or ask you to participate. But he never, ever tried to punish anyone for not supporting his candidate. And he was always just as cordial with you, whether you supported his candidate or not. And he was surrounded by a lot of people who were dishing out punishment and favors. But he never did that.
Moses was the quintessential politician. Now that is not negative, that's positive, because he had a real understanding of the political system. He understood the value of polling, he understood the value of advertising, he understood the value of raising money for campaigns.
He was just a good guy. He was a good person. He was never vindictive. He would argue with you until the sun goes down. But he would never try to hurt you or punish you for anything you said or did. And I can't think of anyone that I've ever seen Moses go after, if you will.
Louise and everybody else, you already know what I think about Moses. You guys had a hand in sharing a truly great man with our city. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. You know that he would be the first to tell you that this honor is yours just as much as it is his. And for that, I thank you, and the whole community thanks you. You did a great service to our city, just in supporting Moses and taking care of him and loving him for so many years. We love you for it.